You were born and you pooped. And you've lived a long time since then. And you've pooped a lot. And if you ever forget how serious pooping is and how serious pooping can be, just watch somebody's face while they're pooping. And you'll remember just how serious pooping is. This video is about how to save money pooping while saving the human race from extinction. Maybe some of you are thinking, why would you do that? And, well, the simple answer is, I could die any minute. I could die tonight in my sleep, or I could die tomorrow and fail to share with you all the good medicine that comes with good pooping. Saving money by pooping and saving the human race from extinction. Right? So, when you think about it, we humans have been around for a very, very long time. And for most of this time, our pooping has been outside, right? We didn't poop in the cave. We didn't poop in the tent, in the teepee, in the hut, in the hogan, what have you. Even the house, we didn't poop there originally. Pooping was something, it was like, hey, go way far away. Go out of the cave. Go way over there to poop. Go out of the village to poop. Don't poop in the house. Why would you poop in the house, right? Because it goes back to the most ancient of wisdoms, right? It's as simple as, you don't want to smell my poop, right? Therefore, nobody wants to smell your poop, right? Unless you're a special breed, but for most of us, this rule applies, right? So it was an outdoor thing. And then at some point, we humans decided we're going to poop inside. We're going to poop inside. And we're going to invent these things, right? These things that cost money. Especially this thing. This costs money too. We're going to invent these things so we can just poop right inside, right? This is luxury, right? This is what we want, right? We want to poop right next to the bed. Let's poop right next to the bed. Let's poop right next to the tub where we bathe, where we shower. Let's poop right in the cleaning, bathing area, right? And then get this one. Let's poop right next to the kitchen, right? You know that spot where we're preparing food for everybody and everything? Let's have a little bathroom right there, and I can be in the middle of cooking, preparing your food, and I'll just go poop right over here, right? Gone are the days of, you want to poop, go down to the river, and don't come back until you jump in and let that rapid current take your poop away, right? You're afraid of pooping in the rain? Well, that rain, it's not going to hurt you. It's going to wash your poop away, right? Pooping was an outdoor thing. To bring it inside is to spend money on your pooping, right? This stuff costs money. The more of this that goes down there, the more of my money is just disappearing down there. This is your money, square for square, right? So we can save a lot of this with a few simple techniques, right? Take the public bathroom, for example, right? Here you come. You see that toilet bowl. Oh shoot, it's closed. I'm gonna have to touch it to make the pooping accessible. So what do? You think you're educated, so you go for the paper towel. You know, it's probably like brown if it's in a public bathroom or something, and you use that just to lift the lid, right? We're going to lift that lid, right? Some of you might just go for the square of toilet paper. Still money, just to lift the lid, right? Watch this. The trick is to go with your bare hand, but go quick. And lift that lid before the germs have a chance to bond to your fingertips, right? Bonds take time to form. And so if you go quick with the hands, you can lift the lid before the germs bond to your hands. Your hands are still safe. You can always wash your hands when you're done pooping, right? Now if I get to this position, I may or may not have already made the greatest success or the greatest failure that most of us Americans are making, right? The butt cheek squeeze, right? Because if I just sit down on the toilet, if I bring a magazine and I just start chilling and relaxing and sinking into the seat, trying to be comfortable on the throne, right? Essentially, right, your butt cheeks are getting squished together while you're sitting on the seat. Now imagine you're a piece of poop, right? And you're trying to make your way through these butt cheeks that are being squeezed together, right? Now, we all know what it's like to poop and to push. And so we know that as strong as these butt cheeks are, the poop is coming out. But we can also see that if the poop, pushing your way through these compressed butt cheeks, it's going to get messy. It's going to smear all over these butt cheeks, right? So now you're stuck using more of your money to clean up more surface area per butt cheek when there's a better way, right? The goal is to use the sitting on the throne, the sitting on the toilet, to open the butt cheeks, to make pooping easier, to make the whole experience better, right? And you're going to find out how this can save the human race from extinction if we practice this, right? We got to bring it open, right? So it's all in the stance, right? It's all in the stance and gravity pinning the butt cheeks to the seat, right? This requires the bare hands. So when we come into the seat, here we come. It's at this moment now that my hands get active and they move. And I grab my butt cheeks and I stretch them apart, flex, right? It's like a yoga pose. And you then you use your body weight, gravity, and you pin these butt cheeks down, right? So now I've pulled the butt cheeks apart and I've compressed them down so they're pinned, leaving me in the open position. Now I'm in a good position to poop. This is going to save me money and save the human race from extinction, right? The poop comes out, less butt cheeks get poopy. I end up using less toilet paper to wipe. I end up saving money in the human race, right? So what's this about saving the human race, right? Well, where does your money come from? Where does the toilet paper come from? It comes from the trees. What we know about the trees is that we are in a reciprocal relationship with the trees. Our exhale is their inhale, and our inhale is their exhale, right? We need the trees to breathe. When we have good trees, we have good air entering our lungs, right? But if you live in a place where people outnumber trees, then you're likely living in a place where your air quality is essentially affecting your well-being, because your air quality is going down breath for breath. And it's because instead of trees and pooping in the trees, you're inside using the trees to waste your money and clean up your poop. Wasting this stuff, right? So there are, on planet Earth, a lot of people. I want to say millions. It could be 1 billion people that are pooping daily and never using toilet paper. Never using toilet paper, right? These people are saving the human race from extinction, saving our trees, and they're saving their money. They don't need to watch this video, right? Because instead of using their money, they're using H2O. They're using water to take care of their poop, right? Now I know what you're thinking. How can the water take care of all the poop? Where's the indicator? The toilet paper is the perfect indicator. I go in with the white square. If there's anything brown, the white square lets me know. How do you know with the water, right? Well, I'll let you know that I am speaking from experience. I spent 27 months about living with people who still live a primitive lifestyle, still living in tents, grass huts, or mud houses with no electricity, no running water, and no toilet paper. And the oasis I lived in had 8,000 people. In the dry season, when all the nomads came in, there were 12,000 people, and for the most part, not one square of toilet paper. I know I didn't see any in my 27 months with these people. And what they taught me was the good medicine that saves money and saves the human race from extinction. And it was wiping with water, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. Not just people living out in nature are still relying on water to wipe. There are some people living in the first world, living at the tops of skyscrapers, still using water, right? We all know about the bidet. And if you're lucky enough, or if you've got one, you don't need to watch this video. You've got this like metal hose that like comes out of your wall, and you're just like, and then it's just like, you feel good about pooping next to your kitchen. You feel good pooping next to your bed and your bath and all that stuff. Hopefully you're using soap when you're washing your hands, because when you rely fully on water, yes, you go in with the hand, right? You go in with your hand. In their culture, pooping is so much a part of life, and going in with the hand is so there that it's a known thing that whether you're left-handed or not, everybody goes in with the left hand as their indicator and as their tool for backing up the water clean, right? And this hand is for pooping, and this hand is for everything else, right? You would eat with this hand, and you would clean your poop with this hand, right? And therein lies human existence, the food and the pooping, right? And it works. And for the most part, if you ever do touch poop with your bare hand, or accidentally maybe that's happened to you, you'll notice that the skin, it's not as permeable as you think. Is it porous? Yes. Can it absorb? Yes. But does it suck the poop into your hand and then you die? Absolutely not. Not usually. It depends on what's in the poop, right? But for the most part, it's not very permeable. So even if you have some kind of bad poop on your hand, as long as you wash it with soap and water quite quickly, your hand's going to be fine. Just make sure you cut your nails and learn how to use your hand without bringing the nails into contact, because they're harder to clean, right? But it's still all possible. And it's not a bad way to go. And so if you're like afraid to have a bidet in your house or to install it, or you're really trying to save the money and you don't want to invest in the full-on hose in your bathroom, you don't want your friends to know about it, whatever. You know, all you need is just a simple water bottle, right? And I'll show you how it works, right? Like, so like, when I squeeze it, oh, you gotta open it, and you squeeze it, right? The water blasts out. And so you can use this force in this position, right? You're here, you don't have your hose, you have your water bottle, and you're essentially just like you learn over time how to get that angle, right? And you work that angle. It's really quite simple. Notice how I'm working on my yoga pose while I'm cleaning my poo, right? It's called multitask yogaing. I'm holding a good stance position. I'm gonna learn how to adjust to maximize, you know, the opening and everything. And you do a good job with this. I mean, you can take this camping, you can take this car camping, you can use it at home. And by just using some water in general, right, you're gonna save a lot of toilet paper. Because if you take care of most of the damage with the water, I'm still okay with it. Yeah, rip yourself a square, right? Spend a little bit of money to know for sure, because it is important, right? And this is a really great indicator. So you can always come in after the water and use your indicator, but think how much you're saving by bringing yourself down to 1 square, right? But I want you to know that there are many people who would never consider a square. If you gotta realize, if you went to these people and you were like, I use this to clean my poop, they would look at this funny thing, right? Some of them might not even know what it is, and they'd be like, what? This guy uses this material to clean his poo? Like, they would think that was the most insane thing in the world. They'd be like, yeah, why wouldn't you use water, right? And then soap. You know, why wouldn't you do that? If these people ever saw your dingleberries hanging there, right? They would laugh so hard at the sight of your dingleberries. They would say, why would they create the dingleberry, these people, right? Why would they not practice the good medicine that can save money and the human race from extinction, right? So there's one more, you know, very important technique that I learned abroad from people who didn't use toilet paper that we can use to practice better hygiene, save money, and save the human race from extinction. And it comes back to the stance, but the stance is a little more advanced, okay? Now, to do this, I have to put my Crocs on because I'm gonna demonstrate this like I was in a public bathroom, right? Because I wanna train you for the worst case scenario, right? So, am I gonna come in with the paper towel? No. I'm gonna save the public utilities money, and I'm just gonna come in quick. Bam, okay, good. No germs bonded to my hand there. I'm good, okay. Oh, I'm doing the public bathroom technique, and I've broken enough lids doing this on the lid, so I've learned through experience, you gotta go for the porcelain direct, right? Now, these things, unfortunately, are made for Americans who squeeze their butt cheeks on toilet seats all day. And so they're not made like you find in Asia, in Africa, and in all sorts of places around the world where you squat over a porcelain hole. So our porcelain hole is weirdly erected up in this toilet seat. And so, but you can still practice, you know, that Eastern style of we're gonna squat and poop, right? And they're doing it in Africa too, right? So I'm gonna squat. Now, the ideal squat, you know, it takes time because if you're not used to sitting in this position every day, it's going to feel funny at first. But when you poop like this, in this position every time, you'll get so accustomed to sitting in this position that you can actually sit your butt cheeks on your heels and relax and like sit like this for hours and hours and hours. Like really, you can. And yeah, you're gonna want to stretch out. The greatest advantage to this squat position when you're pooping, other than the fact that notice that my butt cheeks aren't touching the public toilet seat, right? That should be obvious. It has to do with our elders, right? In countries where people poop like this every time, you'll notice that their 70-year-olds and their 80-year-olds are still flexible. And they can still stand up and down and bend and move and pretty much perform a lot of the same movements that children can perform, because they're used to going from this most flexed position and then they're done pooping and then they stand up to a full extension. Oh, I didn't quite finish. I need to finish that poop. Full squat down, sinking in. I'm surprised you didn't hear my knees crack. Often they do when I do this, you know. But the whole point is that this is a powerful stretch. This is a powerful strength training. You know, I'm building muscles and flexibility every time I extend and then flex into the pooping position. And I think, you know, I saw, you know, from a distance, like 90-year-olds pooping and then standing back up, right? And when you think about in America, where we gotta drive in chairs and sit in chairs and work in chairs and poop in chairs, thrones, toilets, you know, we're always sitting and our knees never get fully flexed. We always get to a 90 and we're like, I'm too lazy to bend anymore, right? And so then we weaken ourselves and the human race. We're almost extinct, essentially, because we can't bend past 90. Humans are meant to bend like this. I think humans are meant to poop like this if we can, because this position is, you know, opening the butt cheeks very much so, right? And so by naturally squatting like this, I'm not only avoiding making contact with my butt cheeks to the public toilet seat, I am bringing my butt cheeks so far apart that everything is gonna drop right out of my system, right? It's like, it's one of those power positions where it's like if you really have to go, and you know what I'm talking about, when you really have to go, as soon as you form this position, you can drop it quick. You can just, because everything's lined up and the hole is wide open. I don't need this seat to pinch my butt cheeks apart, essentially, if I can maintain this power pooping pose, right? And so then, boom, here I am, and then like, whew, it all goes out. I poop, I wipe with water, and there's gonna be way less wiping if I poop in this position. The cleaning with the water is also the angles of the trench. When I'm in this position, it funnels the water right through. Like God created us to poop in this position with water, right? And in doing so, we can save tons of money and the human race from extinction, because instead of taking all of our trees and creating toilet paper to wipe our asses, but we can avoid that. We can keep the trees. We can poop in the trees. We can poop in holes and then plant trees on top of the holes of poop, which they do in these places, and save the human race from extinction, because instead of filling our lungs with this garbage air, we can bring the trees back through pooping. We will poop to bring the trees back. You know, we're going to poop anyway. We might as well bring the trees back while we poop, right? And these are some ways we can do that. But, you know, part of the good medicine with pooping is back to that ancient wisdom that humans discovered, which is, you don't want to smell my poop. Therefore, we do not want to smell your poop. So, if we go as far as pooping indoors, we need to respect humanity in general, the humanity that isn't extinct yet, and save them from the smell of our poop, right? And so, before I get to like the final tip, which is like, it's the easy one, and it's maybe the most common mistake Americans are making. Before we get there, we go over how to respect each other here. So we can light a candle while we poop. It adds some ambiance to the pooping, right? People bless their food when it's coming in. They bless their food before they eat, right? Why not be serious and ceremonial about letting that food come out and create a special something, knowing that this is an exodus. That's what pooping is, really. So I've lit a candle. This is going to help with the smell. And, you know, these days, technology isn't always a bad thing. And so, you know, if you do live in the first world, or if you can get your hands on it in the third world, which a lot of first world people do, then you could bring in the essential oil diffuser. And this one, you know, I loaded with eucalyptus because I think eucalyptus is a really great scent to cover up the smell of my poop, right? And people would rather smell my poop mixed with the eucalyptus than just my poop, right? One makes you think, well, there's hope. The other makes you gag, right? So you got a candle, you've got the essential oil diffuser. Now, if you really want to get ceremonial and bring back that ancient wisdom, right? We can go with the incense. Now, incense is a very potent form of essentially smoke. And smoke is a powerful thing. As far as smell goes, smoke can be very productive with smell. People smell the smoke. And incense is here to provide sweet-smelling smoke, brilliant for covering up the smell of poop, right? And so if you've been identified as somebody with particularly bad-smelling poop, well, first off, you should consult someone on your diet and consider eating something different. But if you're still struggling with the smell of your poop, you know, you can use all three of these smell techniques together: incense, candle, and essential oil. And you'll probably find that people will enjoy being in your pooping presence a lot more if you give back the good medicine with techniques like this, right? So, we're getting close to the real money maker saver, right? The thing that's going to cost you nothing but save you everything, right? But before we get there, just going to go over a couple other techniques, right? You've got some tools probably right there in your kitchen that could be saving you more money if you're using them in your bathroom, right? Chopsticks are a great example, right? I mean, like, if you're skillful with the chopsticks, right? If you know how to use your chopsticks, then think what you could do back here, right? Imagine taking the chopsticks and throwing them back there, right? Do you think these things are easy to clean? Yes, they are. Especially if you have, like, you know, ceramic chopsticks or glass chopsticks or something that's not wood. I'm okay with the wood because, you know, when it gets bad, I can just throw it out the window because the wood came from the woods, and there's woods out there, and poop belongs outside anywhere. So I can use the poopy sticks, use the sticks to get the poop out. If these are too poopy, can't be cleaned, can't be reused, I understand that. Just throw them out the window. That's where the poop belongs anyway. Do you want a dog who poops in your house? Absolutely not. Do you want poop in your house? Absolutely not. So you throw it out the window, right? But things that can be cleaned easily, things that could be lying around in your kitchen. Imagine what you could do with this tool, right? If you're a master in the kitchen and you already know how to use this tool like a master, imagine what this tool could do back here to clean up the job so that by the time you go for your toilet paper, you're using way less. You're down to half a square, just as an indicator to show you how well you mastered this behind, right? Now, if you are an outdoorsy person and you like to barbecue and stuff like that, right? Depending on your barbecuing skills, you might have things really stuck. And you might have a situation where you could need a pincher. Now, these are pinchers, you know, you probably have a pair at if you're first world, you probably have a pair like, right? Like in your Sprinter van, and then you probably have another pair like in your backyard barbecue, and you probably have another pair in your kitchen. So why not have another pair, you know, in your first world bathroom, and then you can just really go to town with this thing and then save a lot of your first world money, right? So that would be great. And finally, the simple trick, as simple as Americans squeezing their butt cheeks together. We Americans can save a lot of money and save the human race from extinction if we just trim it back there, right? If you're the hairy type, or if you're the hairy type back there, right? No, you don't need this. You don't need to take this and stick it back there. It's not necessary, right? I mean, think about it. We've got people still on Earth today that are just chilling with sticks and swords and knives and they don't have New York, Manhattan grade scissors, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't need this for back there. You can save a lot of money in the human race if you just take these and you go back there and snippy, 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 trim it all out so that you don't get caught by some all-natural third world human who catches you exposed with your dingleberries hanging out. Because you've taken care of it. You've shown your first world education. Right? So, you know, it's a big deal. I think about it every time I poop. And honestly, I when I'm pooping, I can't think of anything better to think about, you know, than pooping itself. And how pooping saves money and can save the human race from extinction.